Hey, it's Robin from Rose and Lily. Welcome to part 2 of the Gnome tutorial. In this video, we'll do the nose, and then the hair and beard, and final assembly of the gnome. We're going to start on the nose using medium weight yarn and the crochet hook. In round 1, it's 6 single crochet in a magic ring. Pull the ring tight, and then as always I'll be using a stitch marker at the last stitch of each round. In round 2 we do a single crochet and then an increase, and we do that 3 times to bring us up to 9 stitches. The circle is still very small, so just work slowly and carefully. Keep shaping the piece as you're working by folding it back slightly. In round 3, it's 2 single crochet and then an increase, and we do that 3 times to get 12 stitches. Now in round 4, which is the last round, we do 6 decreases in a row. This will bring us down from 12 stitches to 6. After round 4, we can close with a slip stitch. And then cut the yarn, leaving a tail for sewing. If you like, you can put some stuffing in the nose. Now we're going to work on the hair, and this is attached between rounds 9 and 10. So I'm just counting up 9 rounds from the bottom, and I'll just put a stitch marker over rounds 9 and 10, just so we can see where we'll be working. Now we'll be making the hair using this white yarn, and the length is up to you. I like making it quite long because it is trimmed later. So I'm just using my fingers to loop around, and I'm going to do about 30 loops. And each of these loops will be about 10 centimeters or 4 inches around. And then I'm just cutting the bottom of the loops to create strands of 10 centimeters. So we'll be doing 2 rows of hair. And the first row will go just above round 9, which is right here. And I'll show you the technique of attaching using one strand, but I'll usually be using 2 strands at once. So I've gone over the first stitch, and now I'll show you how I do it using 2 strands. So it's up to you depending on how thick you would like the beard to be. So there's the 2 strands on the left and the single strand on the right. And I'll be using double strands all the way across. So I'll be attaching these over 7 stitches with no gaps in between. And we'll be going over 7 stitches on top of round 9 and 7 stitches on top of round 10. So I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. So here's what it looks like when it's done. Here is my first row going over 7 stitches, which was just above round 9. And here is the second row, also going over 7 stitches at the top of round 10. Now this uses 28 strands in total, but you can add a few more if you want. Now we are going to attach the nose, and I like to attach the nose over some of the hair so that there's no gaps. So I like to find the middle knots of hair, and then I'll be attaching the nose right over the bottom one, making sure that some of the hair is underneath the nose. So I'll take the tail from the magic ring of the nose and insert that right over that bottom knot. And then we'll sew the nose in place using the other tail. First we'll grab a stitch from the head, making sure to go over that hair. Just hold the hair out of the way, and then we go back up into the nose. And then down into the next stitch of the nose. And then grab the next stitch on the head. And you'll do this all the way around, just holding that hair out the way. After going all the way around the nose, we can bring that yarn tail back to meet the first one. And then tie these together. Now we'll sew on the hat. And the hat will go over those top knots of hair to cover them. And you might have to stretch the hat over to make sure those knots are covered. If there's a bit of a step change at the back of the hat, you can go up into the next stitch of the hat and then down into the following stitch. Now we're going to sew the hat in place. First, grab a stitch from the head, go up into the hat, and then down into the next stitch of the hat, and then grab the next stitch of the head. Once we get to the hair, we will do it exactly the same way, just making sure to go underneath the hair into the head. We just want those top knots covered. I just like to hold the hair down with my thumb to make it easier. And the front of the hat should go right above the nose. Once you've gone around the whole hat, you can bring that yarn tail through to a few places at the base of the hat to secure it. If there are any gaps in the beard, you can attach more yarn. Now we can trim the beard, and you can make it any length you want. Now I like to separate the strands of the hair, and you can either do this using the needle, or if you have a comb or wire brush, this would work too. Using a comb is much quicker. And then after it's brushed out, I just like to give it another quick trim. And there is the completed gnome. I think it's really cute if you have them in a few colors. Thanks so much for watching this tutorial. The written version will be available for free on my website. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.